students. Today we'll discuss three-phase induction motor. Three-phase induction motor is a AC motor. The advantage of three-phase induction motor is it is a constant speed motor. It has mainly two parts, starter and rotor. Starter is given a three-phase winding. Rotor is also having a three-phase winding, but it is short-circuited. The main difference between DC motor and AC motor is, in DC motor variable speed is possible, means as per our requirement we can change the speed, but in induction motor or AC motor it is usually a constant speed motor, we cannot change its speed. Another main difference is, in DC motor both starter and rotor are getting supply directly from the source, but in AC motor the starter is given three-phase supply, but the rotor is getting supply from the starter through mutual induction. That is why this motor is known as induction motor. Remember, the rotor is not getting supply directly from the source. It is getting supply from the starter through mutual induction, like transformer. In transformer, secondary winding is getting supply from this primary winding through mutual induction. Both windings are not connected electrically, they are connected magnetically. Same thing happen in induction motor also. The rotor and starter are not connected physically. There is an air gap between these two. The rotor is getting supply from the starter through mutual induction. That is why this motor is also known as rotating transformer. There are some advantages of this three-phase induction motor. It is simple and rugged construction. It is relatively cheap. It requires little maintenance, has high efficiency and good power factor, self-starting. Disadvantage, it's a constant speed motor, we cannot change its speed as per our requirement, and its starting torque is somewhat inferior to DC shunt motor. Construction, it has two parts, starter and rotor. First we will discuss starter. It consists of a steel frame which encloses a hollow cylindrical core made up of thin lamination of silicon steel to reduce hysteresis and eddy current loss. It's an important question in transformer also we studied, in magnetic circuit also we studied, how we can reduce this hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. You can say hysteresis loss can be reduced by using this laminations, okay, and eddy current loss also we can reduce by using this steel material as well as this lamination. Here the starter part is given. Here number of slots are there. In each slot the number of windings are there, three-phase winding. Here one important point is this one. Here number of pole is inversely proportional to the speed. So in the motor, if number of pole is more, then speed will decrease or less. If number of pole is less, speed will be more. So wherever we need high speed, we have to use the motor with less number of poles, because there is a formula, Ns is equal to 120 F by P. Ns is equal to 120 F, Ns is equal to 120 F by P. It's not right. Okay. Ns is equal to 120 F by P. So Ns is inversely proportional to P. Now rotor. In rotor, this is the main part of this induction motor. These three-phase induction motors are again classified into two types. One is squirrel cage induction motor. Second one is slip ring induction motor. In both the induction motors, starter construction is same. Rotor construction is different. Okay, so based on this rotor construction only, these induction motors are classified into two types. First one is squirrel cage rotor. You can see the diagram. It is looking like a cage. That is why it is known as squirrel cage rotor. Here both ends of these are the conductors. Both ends of these conductors are fixed with the end rings. Okay, so the disadvantage of this squirrel cage rotor is, if we need to add any extra resistance in this winding, then we cannot add any external resistance. Whatever the resistance of this coil we have, or this conductor, only that much of resistance we have to take. That is why its starting torque is somewhat less than slip ring rotor. Now come to slip ring rotor. You can see here slip ring rotor. Here the three-phase winding of the rotor has three terminals. These three terminals are connected to three different slip rings. Okay, and three slip rings are having three brushes, and these three slip rings are connected with three rheostats. And this rheostat means variable resistance. Here we can change the resistance. Okay, so when we need to connect external resistance, we can give resistance as per our requirement. From 0 to maximum we can give, so the torque will change. Okay, so during starting what happen, all high resistance we will give, so starting torque will be more. Once the motor will run its at its maximum speed, then we can remove these rheostats, or by making them to 0, then it will rotate like a squirrel cage motor. Okay, now operation. When three-phase starter winding is energized from a three-phase supply, a rotating magnetic field is set up which rotates around the starter at synchronous speed. See, when this here I can show you. Here when supply is given, a current will flow in these conductors. When current will flow, then a magnetic field will produced in this starter. Okay, this magnetic field is looking like a rotating magnetic field. Why? Because the alternating supply which we are giving, that is continuously changing its value from positive to negative, negative to positive, like that, in three different phases at different intervals. So accordingly the polarity of the poles will also change. So accordingly the current direction or the flux direction will also change continuously. Okay, that is why these magnetic lines of forces or the magnetic field is looking like rotating magnetic field. Okay, so this rotating field passes through the air gap and cuts the rotor conductor. Due to the relative speed between the rotating flux and the stationary rotor, EMFs are induced in the rotor conductors according to Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Whenever conductor cuts the magnetic flux, EMF will induce in the conductor. So in this the rotor conductors will cut the magnetic flux of rotating magnetic field, so EMF will produced in each conductor. Since the rotor circuit is short circuited, current will flow in the rotor conductors. Now the current carrying rotor conductors are placed in the magnetic field. Means now the current is flowing in the rotor and these rotor conductors are placed in the magnetic field. So again, as per the motor principle, when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, a force will act on the conductor and it will rotate. So same thing happen here also. Synchronous speed. Here you see that formula Ns is equal to 120 F by P. This is the synchronous speed. Synchronous speed means speed of the rotating magnetic field. Okay, it is directly proportional to frequency, inversely proportional to number of poles. This is an important formula. You will get 2 mark question based on this equation. There are 3 unknowns. 2 unknowns will be given to you. Another unknowns we need to find out. Sleep. Sleep is the difference between the synchronous speed of the rotating starter field and the actual rotor speed. Okay, this percentage sleep is in equation, it is represented as ns minus n by ns into 100. Remember, the starter speed means speed of the rotating magnetic field is greater than the rotor speed always. Rotor speed cannot be more than starter speed or magnetic field speed. Okay, so that's why there will be a difference. So when there is a difference, at that moment only the motor will rotate. If these two will be equal, the motor will stop. It will not rotate further. Now, rotor current frequency. Rotor current frequency means, again from that formula, previous formula, I found F is equal to NRP by 120. It is general formula. This NR is the relative speed. Relative speed formula NS minus N. If I will use this one here, then F dash is equal to NS minus N by P by 120. This value is your S. F dash is equal to S into NS. NS minus N is equal to S into NS. From where we got? From this formula you can see. NS minus N by NS is equal to S. S into NS is equal to NS minus N. This is the slip formula. If you want to in percentage, you have to multiply with 100. Only without percentage means no need to multiply with 100. So this F dash is equal to coming this much, and this value is F. So F dash is equal to SF. What is F dash? What is F? F is the supply frequency. F dash is the rotor frequency. So rotor frequency is equal to slip into supply frequency. Okay. Now at any slip, rotor EMF per phase is equal to SE2. Rotor reactance per phase is equal to SX2. Rotor frequency is equal to SF. E2, X2, F are the corresponding values of rotor at standstill. Thank you.